Making news now. Students and faculty respond to the Chancellor's restructuring plan and poorly. The former SIU student government president protests his impeachment, and new and puzzling results are in for Legionella tests from Springfield. Live from Southern Illinois University, this is River Region Evening Edition.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jacob Gordon.
And I'm Zach Warhus. A new perspective tonight on Chancellor Carlo Montemagno's restructuring plan, and it indicates a lack of support. A recent poll by the Coordinating Committee for Change collected results from a survey given to SIU students, alumni, faculty, and community members. The survey gave new information regarding the Chancellor's restructuring plan. Of 1,156 participants, 56% do not support the new plan, and only 1/3 of the participants do support the new plan. Only 16% of students support the plan.
The ousted head of student government at SIU Carbondale is protesting his impeachment loudly.
And as River Region's Phoenix Hoon-Simmons tells us, he's vowing to keep doing so.
Joshua Bowens, the former undergraduate student government president, led a protest in front of Morris Library today. Bowen spoke about his impeachment, saying that USG failed to impeach him with a 2/3 vote.
Well, let me tell you what SIU did. SIU decided to pass a vote that only had 7 people that wanted me gone.
USG has already replaced him with the former vice president, Emily Bice. Bowens went on to encourage others to speak out about their issues with SIU by writing on duct tape, which he provided.
And write on each one a time in this system that you had an unequal, an unjust, and an unfair procedure happen to you here. And nobody did nothing about it.
Bowens has stated that he has evidence about inequality on campus, but he has not yet provided them. Before Bowens finished, police arrived without confrontation. Reporting in Carbondale, I'm Phoenix Hoon-Simmons with River Region Evening Edition.
Bowens plans to continue the protest for the next 11 days at lunchtime.
Today, the Carbondale Chamber of Commerce announced the resignation of President and CEO Les O'Donnell. This announcement comes 1 week after the Board of Directors accepted O'Dell's resignation. The chairman said, "A lot was accomplished under Les's leadership, and we wish him the best in his future pursuits." Campus Lake has always been an iconic setting in Southern Illinois, but for the past few years, it's faced some issues. A toxic algae problem forced the lake to be closed for several months for cleanup. But now that the problem has been solved, campus officials are looking to revitalize the area with a new boathouse that will also serve as a classroom and a venue available to rent. SIU Director of Plant and Service Operations, Brad Dillard, hopes this project will help jumpstart the revenue and the community.
It'll be a much more functional space than we had before, so we hope it attracts people to that portion of campus, and just hopes it attracts people to SIU in general to see what a beautiful campus we have and what the beautiful resources we have available to support the incredible academic mission that we have. And we expect all kinds of uses from groups for the facilities.
While there is no official opening date, Dillard says the project will be completed within the next couple of weeks.
Well, it'll be nice to get out and enjoy that during the springtime.
Yeah, I can't wait to go kayaking on the lake again. Speaking of kayaking, let's go to Jordan with our weather.
Well, we're expecting some rain here in the later hours. Maybe we can go kayaking in some rain. Just kidding. It's not going to be that big of an event, but we are expecting some rain to move into our area. Temperatures expected to drop down into the lower 50s as the rain begins. We're thinking rain is going to start just shortly after midnight as it goes on, but temperatures still ranging in the 50s, so not bad. So here's what we're talking about for my full forecast. We do have more rain on the way, but steady warm temps. You're going to want to see what the weekend looked like. It looks better than it has in these past few weeks, so I have that in the 5-day, plus the bus stop forecast for the kids. Back to you, Zach and Jacob.
All right, thank you. More women are coming to Illinois to have abortions. The State Department of Public Health says more than 4,500 women crossed into Illinois to have their pregnancies terminated in 2016. That number was just 3,200 in 2015. Still, the number of abortions overall in Illinois has dropped from almost 40,000 in 2015 to less than 39,000 in 2016. Both pro-life and pro-choice groups say the cause of the maybe tightening of abortion regulations in the surrounding states.
The Illinois Department of Public Health reported a case of Legionnaires in Springfield over the weekend, but both places have tested positive for Legionella, have had their final results come back negative.
Now the newest case gives way to a whole new slew of questions. Amanda Henderson has more.
It is a disease that can happen naturally.
An illness transmitted by a bacterium that's common in water areas. It's acquired because somebody either inhales mists that are contaminated with high concentrations of the bacteria or aspirate the organism from a water source where the bacteria is present.
And one that can happen quickly while having harsh symptoms.
And they can spend weeks in the hospital, including being on the ventilation, losing muscle mass, getting weak, and then having to rehabilitate from it. Usually they have some other underlying illness, such as emphysema or chronic bronchitis.
After an Illinois resident tested positive for Legionnaire's disease, the Illinois Department of Public Health sent out the following, quote, IDPH is gathering information about the individual's recent travels to identify potential sources of exposure to the bacteria that causes Legionnaire's disease. Several locations are being investigated, including the Capitol Complex and a hotel where the individual stayed during a January 2018 visit to Springfield, end quote. But doctors say the fear of contracting the disease is not something to worry over.
On average, around 300 cases come through Illinois every year. Is that a big number? Is that kind of average?
It's not a big number relative to places like Pittsburgh where there's a lot of it.
But it is important to be informed about how to potentially avoid it.
The bacteria for this disease can occur naturally in the environment, but the incubation period can last up to 12 days.
Ahead on Evening Edition, Chicago's top cop lobbies for new gun legislation.
And a basketball player gets an emotional over a family tribute. You're watching Evening Edition at 5.
New this evening, Illinois lawmakers are considering tighter gun control laws. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson testified today in favor of the proposed bill called the Commander Paul Bauer Act. It would ban extended magazines on weapons and increase penalties for unlicensed use of ballistic body armor. The bill is named after Chicago Police Commissioner Paul Bauer, who was shot and killed while chasing a suspect earlier this month.
People ask me about teachers being armed in the schools. Our teachers should be focused on teaching our children. They shouldn't be concerned with carrying a loaded firearm in a classroom. So we just need to do common sense things to help keep the city safe.
Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel supports the proposed legislation and is encouraging residents to get behind the effort.
As Stoneman Douglas High School students prepare to go back to school tomorrow, lawmakers in Florida as well as D.C. are getting pressure from students to do something about gun control.
Students are preparing to return to Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School tomorrow, 2 weeks after 17 of their classmates and teachers were gunned down by a former student.
I'm nervous because I don't know how I'm going to react walking back to where I was that Wednesday.
Today, some of those survivors are in Washington, hoping to convince lawmakers on Capitol Hill to take action.
They're here for change, they're here to make a difference, and just inspiring young people with a message to everyone, not Democrat, not Republican. They want to see change in the gun laws in this country.
Despite mounting pressure on lawmakers to come up with a plan for gun legislation, Congress hasn't made any progress. Republican leadership today blaming the massacre in Parkland on a breakdown in the system.
We shouldn't be banning guns for law-abiding citizens. We should be focusing on making sure that citizens who should not get guns in the first place don't get those guns.
On the other side of Pennsylvania Avenue, President Trump seemingly backing away from statements he made last week in favor of raising the age limit to buy certain types of weapons. Sources close to the White House saying he appeared to be changing his position. The National Rifle Association came out against raising the age limit last week. President Trump will be meeting with lawmakers from both parties Wednesday to discuss legislation. In Washington, I'm Kristen Holmes.
The trial for a Tennessee bus driver accused of killing 6 elementary students started today. Police say Jonathan Walker was speeding in November of 2016 when the bus carrying 37 children tipped over and crashed into a tree. Police also say he was on his phone during the crash. Walker faces several charges that include 6 counts of vehicular homicide. He has pled not guilty to those charges. Shelling and artillery fire continued in Syria's rebel-held portion of eastern Ghouta today, interrupting a 5-hour humanitarian pause ordered by Russian President Vladimir Putin. Russia, a key ally of the Syrian regime, has ordered a daily pause in the fighting. This video posted by the White Helmets today shows the volunteer group rescuing a number of children from the rubble.
Miami Heat star guard Dwayne Wade got emotional yesterday as he reflected on one of the 17 people killed in the Florida school shooting. Joaquin Oliver was a sports fan and Wade was his favorite basketball player. On Sunday, on a Univision talk show El Punto, Oliver's parents revealed that he was buried on February 17th wearing Wade's Miami Heat jersey. Hundreds of people attended his funeral, many wearing sports jerseys to honor his passion.
You really can't put that in words. You know, you hurt for the family, you know, and if you ever get an opportunity to speak to them, you know, you just try to hope that the time where he was alive, that you was able to help bring some form of joy to his life and something memorable, a story that his family, you guys could talk about.
He dedicated his return to Miami and the rest of his NBA season to Oliver.
Well, we saw plenty of sunshine today, but some clouds have already moved into our area ahead of our next rainmaker. So when can we expect those showers to begin? Jordan Taylor has a look at your forecast next.
And the 3 major stock indices finished down. Stay tuned for the nightly business report at 5:30 on WSIU.
Kicking back up out of the southwest at 15 miles an hour. Just take a look at the board. I'm not going to go anywhere just yet because I want to bask in that sun. That's the weekend we're looking for, y'all. Check it out. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sunny, sunny, sunny. And what's the pick of the litter, guys? Sunday.
Sunday.
Look at Sunday. You got sun and a high of 60 degrees. So that weekend looking pretty spectacular, guys. And hopefully we'll keep it.
After a week of rain, I am so glad to see the sun.
We're all due for that, and maybe we can get out and get on those kayaks. Maybe the lake will be ready to go here on campus, and we'll all get out and, you know, splash a little bit.
All right, thank you so much, Jordan. Let's head over to Patrick Cotto for a preview of what's coming up with sports.
Well, coming up, the Saluki baseball team concludes a road trip in Nashville, and 3 Saluki basketball players received yearly MVC honors. Stay tuned. For one of the greatest NBA players of all time, LeBron James. A Pennsylvania man brought 3 billboards to try to recruit James to sign with the Philadelphia 76ers. James is currently a Cleveland Cavalier, but will become a free agent after the season. On the billboards, he used messages including hashtag Philly wants LeBron and complete the process. The Sixers are currently in 7th place in the Eastern Conference, while the Cavs are in 3rd. Wow, that's a lot of billboards he decided to use to put LeBron's name on there to get him to the team.
So do you think he's going to go to Philly?
We have no idea. You have no idea where LeBron James is going to go.
Hey, man, as long as he doesn't go to the Warriors, I'm glad.
Yes.
The sun stuck around for a little bit, but the rain is going to come back. We'll update you on the forecast after this break.
But first, one bird cannot wait to make her TV appearance. We'll show you next.
Disney's Black Panther is making big bucks while lending a paw to kids in need. The film has earned $700 million globally since its release just 2 weeks ago. Disney says it's donating $1 million of profits to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. It will benefit 12 centers across the U.S., including centers in Atlanta, Baltimore, New York, and Washington. According to Disney, the funds will go towards the group's STEM programs, which encourages kids to study science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Well, one news station was ready to send it off to break until someone decided to swoop in. A KFMB news anchor was teasing an upcoming segment on the San Diego Zoo. But the bird Sophie decided to stick her beak in and perched on top of her head. Sophie is a 10-year-old scarlet ibis. Ibis are related to storks and are native to the Caribbean and South America. And apparently, they're not camera shy.
Absolutely not. And I would have been the gentleman. Watch him. He's laughing, ha ha ha, and then you watch it come to him, and I would have been gone. Absolutely.
I would have been underneath this desk, hiding.
What would you have done, Zach?
I have no idea. I can't even imagine that. It's just, there's a lot going on there.
Pat?
All I gotta say is the bird is the word.
The bird is the word. Let's make this weather the word.
Yeah.
Check out the 5 day. Let's just blur out Wednesday. Let's act like Wednesday's not a thing tomorrow. And let's just look at the rest of the day. Thursday, but you got Friday when everyone might get paid, you know, and then Saturday and what? Sunday. Y'all are good. All right, y'all got it. Sunday is a pick of the litter. You see 60 degrees is a high. So it looks like we're getting those spring-like temperatures. It's not technically spring yet, but we're getting out. I see everyone stripping the jackets off. I see some people in shorts. We're taking advantage because we have just had a brutal winter. Rain is kicking our tails all the time. So you see, we're ready. We're getting ready for some more tonight.
We're glad to see the sun.
We're glad to see the sun, exactly.
Right. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Nightly Business Report is up next. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at River Region News. Our webpage is riverregionnews.wordpress.com. I'm Zach Warhus.
And I'm Jacob Gordon. For all the students who work on Evening Edition, good night.